as I'm recording this, the Bulls are currently getting destroyed by the Warriors. So I'm just going to go ahead and just get this recording out. I got some work to do, so I'm doing this quick here. Scuffed little video. So let's talk about what's happened very recently with the Chicago Bulls. The main headline is this. Zach LaVine, he played just over 3 minutes in the game. He went up for an offensive rebound, got it, but when he came back down, it looked like he hurt his knee. It is confirmed that it's a left knee injury. We do not know the severity of it, but it looks so far, according to what Casey Johnson has reported, and also according to Shams, that it doesn't look too severe. There's optimism within the Bulls organization that it looks okay, and it's not something like a torn ACL or a torn anything, right? So that's at least good news. But this is obviously concerning because we can't lose LaVine, right? If we lose one of the big three, the season's absolutely over. But seeing LaVine go out, it has obviously had an effect on the Bulls team this game. But I mean, we were already kind of struggling recently. We lost to the Mavericks, and then obviously we got that big win against the Pistons. But that Nets game was rough because we played one good half of basketball, or not even good half of basketball. We played okay half of basketball against the Nets, but then that second half was awful. And now against this Warriors team, we're finishing up getting absolutely blown out by almost 40 points. So losing one of your top guys is obviously not good to see when your team is really, really struggling right now. And that's unfortunately the case. So LaVine should get an MRI. Honestly, I would hope to get an MRI tonight. There's a small chance, according to Casey Johnson, he's going to get MRI tonight, but it most likely will be pushed to Saturday. That obviously means that because the Bulls play tomorrow against the Boston Celtics, that Zach LaVine is not going to be available for that game as well. So, I mean, I tweeted this out, man. The others have to step up, and I've been calling for the others to step up all year. I mean, that Pistons game, we saw it. I was like, okay, there we go. We saw other people chip in, play good defense, but also knock down shots and cut to the rim and everything. But in that Nets game and also in this Warriors game, we're just seeing it's like we're so dependent on the big three to just do everything on the offensive end. And I'm like, these three guys, man, they're great, but they can't do everything. So I'm specifically looking at Lonzo Ball. Nikola Vucevic, now he's being slid into the second option. He has to do better. And a lot of people are criticizing his rebounding and defense in this Warriors game. That is not legit. If you're criticizing Nikola Vucevic for his rebounding and defense, then you are not a smart person when it comes to basketball. When Nikola Vucevic has to literally help because the perimeter defense is so garbage recently, he has to come over and help and to try to deter the shot at the rim, then he can't box out his man. He's coming over and helping because the poor defense on the perimeter. So you need to rethink everything if you're looking at or trying to pick apart Vucevic on the defensive end. Now I'll say this, offensively, I think he's not played well. I think he's not looking for a shot enough. I think he's passing too much out of the post. I think he just hasn't hit his open shots at all. And I think most recently his passing has not been that great. So he definitely needs to step it up on the offensive end, especially now that he's going to become the second option with LaVine out, at least for the next game. But I mean, Lonzo, man, I've criticized Lonzo on this channel. Again, I'm not trying to be absolutely hating him. And I've said constantly, I think Lonzo's a winning player. If I criticize a player, that does not mean I hate them. It just means that I'm saying hey, they need to work on this, right? But now that LaVine's out, Lonzo becomes the third guy, and he was hitting his threes early in this Warriors game, but his decision making when he has the ball in his hands is it's not that good. I've said this before on this channel. Lonzo Ball, you want Lonzo Ball to have the ball when you're in transition. The dude's one of the best players in transition. But when it comes to the half-court sets, Lonzo Ball is not the guy that you want to have the ball in his hands in a half-court set because he can't create space that well. Off the pick and roll, you see the teams, they just play him for the pass. They're not even expecting him to go and score. And again, it's just normal criticism that I've just looked at with Lonzo. And I wasn't that happy about Lonzo coming here when it's just everyone's talking about Lonzo. But I was really happy when he was coming here once we got DeMar DeRozan. Because then I look at this team, I'm like, okay, we have LaVine, we got DeRozan. Those two guys can handle the half-court sets. Those two guys will be doing most of the stuff there. And then Lonzo's that perfect guy that can spot up from three. and find the guys inside when they're cutting. That sounds perfect. But now you lost LaVine. So Lonzo now has to really step up, and I'm asking for him to be aggressive going towards the basket. Look for contact. Be okay going to the free throw line. He has to step up right now if this Bulls team is going to have any chance of beating the Boston Celtics in their next game. So this is the time right now where we're going to see how good this Bulls team is. We've talked about depth all year, and honestly, this team has more depth than I thought. But as guys continue to go down, now most notably one of our all-stars, we're really going to see what this team is going to have. And, no LaVine means a lot. We're missing a lot. So I'm looking at Lonzo. I'm looking at Vucevic. They have to step up. And then the other guys off the bench, like Troy Brown Jr., Tony Bradley, Io, they all have to step up and most notably at least give effort. This Bulls team, in this game right here, I don't even know what the final score is because I stopped. So this is what we're looking at right now. It's just so bad right now when it comes to the effort, and I understand that Alex Caruso's out, and I'm going to talk about him in a second here, but even when your best defenders in Caruso, Green, and Derrick Jones Jr. are out, you have to give the effort. And I'm even looking at a guy like Lonzo Ball, who I don't even think he's even giving that much effort recently. He's one of our better defenders. And when I see that, then there's a serious problem. And also another thing I want to point out here, like Lonzo, I think he's a really good individual defender, one-on-one. I think he can lock down anybody. But when it comes to him guarding the pick and roll, man, I just don't know if he has the quickness to stay up with a guy like Steph Curry, right? We just saw in this game, Curry absolutely destroyed Lonzo just from running a simple pick and roll. Lonzo can't get through that screen that quickly, and Curry's just too quick. And it's just simple for him. And also Curry running back and forth. I get it. No one can guard Steph Curry, but I would much rather have Alex Caruso guarding Steph Curry than Lonzo Ball. So I'm looking at Lonzo, not only does he have to step it up offensively and look to score not just from the three-point line, that he needs to step it up defensively too, as much as the rest of the team does. So again, I know I'm picking on certain guys like Vucevic and Lonzo, but I'm like, look, these are the best players after LaVine, right? DeMar's there, but we know what we're going to get from DeMar, but it's these other guys that are next in line, in the starting lineup, that I'm looking at specifically, that these guys have to step it up when LaVine's out. And I'm hoping that they do come Boston on Saturday. So, update here for Alex Caruso. It's very clear that this Bulls team misses Alex Caruso. It is very evident. We're also missing Javonte Green, and I think Javonte doesn't get enough credit, honestly, for what he does for this team. But it is just very clear that this Bulls team is missing this dude right here. I know Caruso comes off the bench. He started a good amount of the games, but I know he comes off the bench. But even when he does come off the bench, he usually plays at least around 30 minutes a game. So he's playing starter minutes for this team. And we're really, really missing him right now. And you're just seeing with the perimeter defense. The perimeter defense is god-awful. And this goes to everybody that is on this Bulls team right now. And he can definitely help it. He's one person, but he can definitely help. But we're seeing, because of COVID and his foot injury, that he obviously didn't play tonight. He's not playing tomorrow. And we have a game in Memphis on Monday. He's not going to be playing there as well. So Lonzo's got to guard Ja Morant. We don't have Caruso for that game either. So it's like, man, that's going to be tough. And Memphis is one of the hottest teams right now in the entire league. So we're hoping that he can come back on Wednesday versus Cleveland. But, look, man, we have 2 games to get through before he can come back, and even then he might not be 100%. So we just can't be like, oh, Caruso's coming back, it's going to be okay. No, that's not how this is going to go. You need to think right now that we got to bring our A game against the Boston Celtics and the Memphis Grizzlies on the road, and don't even think about hoping that Caruso's going to be coming back. That is inexcusable if you start thinking that way. So quick little update here for the Bulls and their news. Let's see the final score for this game. It is 140 to 193. So an absolute just onslaught against this Bulls team. Look, man, the 3-point percentage, again, perimeter defense is god-awful right now. You're seeing it. 39 assists for the Warriors. That ties their season high for this year. We didn't get rebounds. No effort this game. Obviously, turnovers are a serious issue here. But we're just not shooting it well either. And that also comes because when we don't play good defense, we don't get good transition opportunities. So, really rough stretch right now for the Bulls. Yes, we're missing Caruso. We had that loss to Dallas that wasn't very good. And then we had that really bad Nets loss, unfortunately, in the second half. And now Zach LaVine goes down. So it is just not looking good for this Bulls. but we're gonna see what this team's made of. You have to withstand adversity if you're gonna be a great team, and I hope this Bulls team can do that. So, Bulls versus Boston tomorrow. This better be a better. We better see more effort from this team tomorrow in the second game of back-to-back. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.